No addiction is better than the addiction to saving money. I'm telling you, this is the real deal, because all those other habits, they just drain your bank account, leave you feeling hollow, but saving money. Oh no, that nurtures your courage. It fattens your confidence, gives you that quiet power, that deep-seated peace of mind. The most dangerous thing in this entire world, it is not being poor, that is just a state of being. The truly dangerous path is earning whatever you earn, and then, without a second thought, spending every last cent of it, as if there is an endless tap of money flowing your way when your salary first hits your account. That direct deposit notification pops up, and you instantly feel like a king or a queen, like you're on top of the world, invincible. But then, the end of the month rolls around, and it is time to pay off all those credit card bills. That feeling of grandeur vanishes, poof, gone. And suddenly, you're scrounging, feeling like a little kid begging for pennies. It is a brutal cycle, isn't it? And it is one I see far too often. Many people, they project this image, this illusion of living these incredibly glamorous lives. You see them, with the latest model phone, always the newest iPhone, or the sleekest Samsung. Their social media feeds are a constant parade of check-ins at fancy high-end restaurants, Michelin star places, exclusive lounges. Their shoe cabinet, oh, it is overflowing with limited edition sneakers, designer heels, all the things that scream, "I've made it." But you know what? Behind all that carefully curated facade, their bank balance, it is often a desolate wasteland, barely able to cover even 1 month of unemployment, should they lose their job. That is the terrifying reality this generation we've fallen into. What I believe is the most insidious trap. We've started to confuse consumption with success, capitalism. It is a clever beast constantly whispering sweet nothings in our ears, telling us, you deserve better, you're worth it, you're young, so buy what you like, treat yourself. But here is the kicker. Here is the part they conveniently leave out. No one tells you that when you have absolutely no savings, when your financial foundation is crumbling, your life, it can't withstand even the slightest storm, a little gust of wind, a small bump in the road. It is enough to send everything crashing down. An adult's biggest breakdown, it is never about suddenly not having money. That is a symptom, not the root cause. No, the true breakdown happens when your parents get sick and you have no money to help them, when your job becomes unbearable, but you can't dare to quit because you have no financial cushion, when your relationship turns toxic, rotten to the core, but you're trapped, unable to leave, because your pockets are empty. That is why I increasingly believe in this one simple truth, that savings are an adult's true dignity. It is the quiet strength, the unshakable peace that allows you to face anything. Many people, they simply don't understand why some individuals, after they've diligently saved, say, 200,000, 300,000, they become even more frugal. They start pinching pennies. They seem to become even more careful with their money. It is not that they've suddenly run out of cash. Not at all. It is because they have finally tasted the exquisite joy of money making money, that sweet, sweet taste of passive income. It is an intoxicating feeling. Before, spending $300 on a pair of designer shoes felt incredibly cool. You were part of the in-crowd on trend, but later you realized that those $300, if you just let them sit there, invested wisely, they could generate another $300 or more in just 1 year, making your money work for you. Before, thinking that discounts and sales were only for poor people, for those struggling to make ends meet. Later, you realized that those who truly understand numbers, those who are smart with their money, are the ones who actively seek out and utilize those discounts. They're the ones who appreciate the value. Before, eating out at expensive restaurants was pure enjoyment, a treat, a luxury. Later, you realize that cooking a delicious meal at home, in your own kitchen, it is far more comfortable, far more grounding, far more fulfilling. Once a person starts to truly become addicted to that incredible feeling of their savings account steadily growing, that number getting bigger and bigger, their desire to consume, it will plummet. It will fall off a cliff, a dramatic decrease, because you finally discover that fleeting pleasure, that momentary high from buying something new, it simply cannot compare to the profound and lasting sense of long-term security. In psychology, there is a powerful term called delayed gratification, and truly powerful people, truly successful individuals, they master this skill. They can control those immediate urges, those instant desires that scream for satisfaction. Ordinary people, when they receive a bonus, their very first reaction, their immediate thought, is to reward themselves, to splurge, to buy something nice. But smart people, when they receive a bonus, their very first reaction, their immediate thought is to expand their principal, to invest it, to make that money work harder for them. Don't underestimate This seemingly small difference, this tiny gap in mindset, because 5 years down the line, it will lead to two completely different worlds, two entirely different realities. Why does a person become increasingly fond of saving money? Why does this habit grow stronger and stronger? It is because saving money brings more than just a simple numerical increase in your bank account. It brings a profound sense of control, a feeling of mastery over your own life. You'll find, as your bank balance starts to grow thicker, starts to accumulate, becomes more calm, your confidence quietly increases, your boss offers you empty promises, pie-in-the-sky dreams, you're not flustered, you're not worried, because you know you have options. Relationships sour, they turn toxic, you're not afraid, because you have the means to walk away. The industry is experiencing a downturn. It is sluggish, times are tough, you won't lose sleep, you won't be filled with anxiety because, even if the sky itself were to collapse just a little bit, you have the financial strength, the resilience to catch it, to withstand the impact. Money isn't everything. We hear that all the time. It is a common saying, but here is the harsh truth. When you have no money, when your resources are depleted, you'll discover that 99% of life's most intense breakdowns, those moments of utter despair, they are directly and inextricably linked to money. I know an auntie. She owned a small convenience store. Not highly educated, didn't have fancy degrees, but she was a force of nature every day. She woke up at 5 a.m., diligently opening her store, and closed it at 10 p.m. year after year. While others were upgrading their cars, she kept hers. While others were setting around the world, taking luxurious vacations, she stayed put. Others, they laughed at her, calling her too frugal, too stingy. But during those pandemic years, those incredibly tough years, when many stores were forced to shut down, when countless people lost their homes, she, with her accumulated savings, quietly and strategically bought 2 adjacent storefronts at a bargain price. That, my friends, is the true power, the true strength of saving money. It often seems insignificant in the daily grind, but in critical moments, those make or break situations. It can literally save your life. It can open doors you never thought possible. Many young people, they always tell me, my salary is too low, I just can't save anything. But the harsh reality is, for most people, it is not that they earn too little. It is that their money leaks away far too quickly. $20 a day for that fancy bubble tea, $50 a day for that takeout meal, hundreds of dollars a week on ineffective socializing, on things that bring no real value. These expenses, they seem so insignificant, so small on their own, but add them up over a year, and you'll find they amount to a substantial sum, enough to accumulate a truly meaningful principle. The biggest illusion, the most dangerous misconception for those struggling financially is always thinking, oh, I'll earn more later, in the future. So today, they spend frantically without a care in the world. But the reality so often is, money becomes harder and harder to earn, while desires, they become more and more expensive. It is a losing game. So truly smart people, they understood this fundamental principle very early in life. Save money first, then, and only then, talk about living your life. Because that accumulated wealth is an ordinary person's biggest trump card. It is your most powerful weapon, your strongest defense. When you have no capital, you are forced to live by selling your time, trading precious hours for meager wages. But once you have capital, once you've built that financial foundation, you then earn the right, you gain the privilege to make your money work for you, to generate wealth while you sleep. Warren Buffett, he was incredibly frugal. When he was young, people asked him, "You're so rich, why are you still so restrained, so careful with your money?" And he said something that was truly profound, truly harsh. If you buy things you don't need soon, you will sell things you do need. Many people, they only understand this profound truth when they reach middle age, when the weight of their past choices comes crashing down on them. What truly destroys a person, it is never poverty. No, it is the inability to control their desires, that insatiable hunger for more and more. Have you noticed that truly wealthy people, those with genuine riches, they are often incredibly simple in their habits? Their clothes just need to be comfortable. Their cars just need to be functional. To get them from point A to point B, their food just needs to be clean and nourishing, because they no longer need to prove themselves through consumption. They don't need the external validation that comes from buying expensive things. Conversely, the less money a person has, the more prone they are to impulsive consumption, because they desperately want others to believe that they are doing well, that they are successful. Unfortunately, superficial appearances, that fleeting image of success, never translates into true security. True confidence is not found on social media, in your carefully curated feeds. It is found in your bank account balance. When you start saving money, you will slowly but surely break free from many meaningless habits. You'll kick those impulsive consumption patterns. You'll ditch those pointless comparisons, trying to keep up with the Joneses. You'll stop wasting money just to fit in with a crowd you'll increasingly love. The feeling of accumulation, the steady growth, the quiet power of seeing your balance increase little by little. It is like watching your own life, slowly but surely, take root, growing deeper, becoming stronger. That feeling, it is incredibly grounded, incredibly secure. Before, I always thought that happiness was buying, retail therapy. Right. But later, I discovered that true happiness is not being anxious. It is the absence of worry, not having to stress, over rent, not having to panic, over unemployment, not being crushed by an unexpected event, a sudden illness, a major expense. This, my friends, is an adult's highest form of security. So please, stop thinking that saving money is vulgar, that it is unfashionable in this day and age. The people who can truly save money, they are the real power players. They are the true heroes, because they have not only fought against their own desires, but they have also fought against the relentless brainwashing of the entire consumerist era. While others are busy showing off, flashing their new purchases, they are quietly and diligently accumulating their trump cards, their secret weapons, while others are busy overdrawing their future, borrowing against tomorrow. They are, little by little, buying back their own freedom, their own choices. Remember this one simple sentence: saving money is not about becoming a miser, a penny pincher. No, it is so that one day your life can avoid being forced to walk a path dictated by money, forced into decisions you don't want to make. One day, you will truly understand that no brand name, no display of status, no fleeting vanity can ever compare to those simple yet powerful words: "It is okay, I have savings."